Hello friends. So in the last video, we talked that Spring would provide auto configuration. What does it mean? That lots of the configuration or lots of the class or lots of the bin is automatically created by Spring Boot and managed by Spring Boot. You don't need to do any changes in that case. So what we can do, we can run this command, which will basically we can run this command with the debug flag. So if you run this command with debug flag, it will show you all the configuration that is being all the classes that is being configured by Spring Boot. So what of to build any Spring Boot project, we run this command ambient clean install. So as soon as you run this command, right, it will build your project and it will generate a jar for your project. So it will take some time to build. Maybe I'll fast forward that for you. So see, here it is time to build the jar for you. Yeah. So build is a success, right? So once your project build is completed, what it will do that Spring Boot will create one target folder, and inside the target folder, it will put your jar file. So this is my jar file. So I need to run this command, and I need to replace this jar file name with my jar file name. So for that, I can type command. Yeah. This is the command java-jar. This is the name of jar file that is generated by Spring Boot. I will keep the name of it and then I will run it with the debug details. Unable to access. See, so I need to change the target folder because this jar is in target folder. It is not able to find in this folder. So I will change it and run it again. So now if I run it, you can see all the classes which are being the auto configured. So I will come to this screen again. So does Spring does this auto configuration, and how does so Spring will have multiple classes, right? How does it know that we need to create object or you need to create a bin of this class? So to find out that, we have a annotation which is at that conditional annotation. Based on this annotation only, Spring Boot will create bin of your bin of your file or not. So if you go here, so now our command has been executed. Now if you see here, right, these are all the classes for which bins are being created. So you can see all the class for which Spring Boot has automatically configured. So for these classes, you have not written any logic, right? That you have not written any logic to create a bin of these classes. So this is automatically done by Spring Boot. So this is what we meant when we say that Spring Boot does auto configure. So I hope this point is clear. So you may want to know more about this conditional annotation, but about this we'll talk later. Okay. So now we'll go to the next slide. So about this one we have already discussed, right? That Spring Boot starters, where what it does that for you it bundle a group of dependency in a starter dependency. For example, if you are developing a web application, right? So this is a Spring Boot starter web. This is your dependency that you will use to develop your web applications. Now suppose your application need to connect with a database and you want to use JPM, right? So this is a starter dependency that you can use, and all the eventual dependency will be provided by Spring Boot only, and you can integrate with that easily. Spring Boot also provide multiple, like for security also, it provides some starter security dependency which you can use in your project. So the next thing we will understand the Spring Boot project structure, right? So whenever you create any Spring Boot project, this will be the default structure of the project. So this is your group name and your artifact ID, whatever you give. Inside this, Spring will automatically generate this folder: src, main, and Java, src, main, and resource. So inside your Java, you can put your Java source code, and inside this resource, you can put the static file or any configuration that is required. And it will generate one more class, src test and Java, where you can put your test classes. So if I show you this project, so if you see this project, right, this is the project where we have src. Inside src main we have two things, Java and resources. Inside Java, currently there's only one file which is auto generated by Spring Boot, and inside resource we have this property file which we can use to configure the property, and then we have this static folder where we can put static images or anything, any static data that we want to put. So this is how Spring Boot by default generates your folder structure. If you want to develop any new application, you have to follow this project structure only. Now inside this class, you can add controller, you can add service, or you can add repository based on your requirement. Now we will understand the what is application.property file and what is application.yaml file. So see the both application.property file and application.yaml file serve the both serve the same purpose. They are files which are used to change the configuration, right? But the only difference is the way it is arranged. So if you see the application.property file, right, it is written in this format. And if you see the application or .yaml file, since it is a YAML file, it is written in the hierarchical format. So due to its hierarchical nature, it is easy to read. But the purpose of both is same. It is to change the property or to configure based on your requirement. So for example, I will show you one thing. If you see this project, right, we just executed this jar, right? And if you go up, yeah. If you go up, you can see that our project is running on the port number 8080, right? Now, what I will do, I will close this jar so that I will stop this project. I will terminate it, and I will go in the property file. And what I will do, I will change the port. So I will do server dot port, and I will make it let's say 8082. Now I will start my application. So I showed you one way to start your application, right? That you can run the command java hyphen jar and your jar name. Another way to start your application is that you go to demo application, and here you will get a symbol to run your application. You can simply run your application from here. So it will also do the same thing. It will pick the latest jar and it will trigger it. So the build is happening, and so it will build and start. So we have to wait for some time. See, the here you can see the logs, right? In the logs, service is now started, but it has started on the port number 8082. So using this application.properties file or application.yaml file, you can change the configuration. You can provide a dynamic configuration. So friends, that's all for now. We'll discuss few more interview topic in the upcoming videos. Friends, for now, maybe you can like my channels and you can leave some comment